Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Crook County Work Session. Today's date is Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. It's 9:00 a.m. First line of business is a public comment. Does anyone in the room want to make a public comment?
I'd like to.
Okay.
I didn't sign up for public comment, is that?
No, you don't have to. You just need to come up here, state your name.
My name is Beth Peer, and I'm here as a member of the Friends of the Crook County Library. I just wanted to express support for the county library and any plans, staffing plans, that would keep it open on Saturdays. I think it's so important. It's just a real hub. It's always busy. And that's all I have to say.
Great, thank you. Does anyone online want to comment? If you do, please type in your chat box and then we can unlock you and you can speak. None? Okay, moving on, discussion. First item, compensation review committee. HR, Megan,
That's me. Hi, everybody.
morning.
So I just wanted to, excuse me, talk about the compensation review committee. It's pretty much the same. We've just made a few adjustments. And I'm bringing it here just for transparency purposes, so the commissioners know we're just adjusting slightly. It was always the intention for HR to own this policy, but we weren't fully staffed. But now that we are, I'll be taking over running the committee. And basically the only changes we're making is we're reducing the amount of members. We're gonna have myself who will run it, the finance director, one elected official, and 2 department heads, which will be appointed by the county manager. And the only other additional change is, or there's 2 changes. So NeoGov, when it's up and running, will own all the job descriptions, so everything will be housed there, and HR will be the only people that can touch it and change it. So we have a form, you can send in the form with all the changes that you're looking to make. HR will review it. If it does not change any salaries, then we will just update the job description within NeoGov, and then that will be what gets posted. If in fact the salary does change based on the changes that have been asked for, it will go to the CRC for review. And Will, did you want to add anything?
No, the only thing I would just for the sake of clarity, I think it's important to note that the CRC does not report to the board. It makes recommendations to the county manager. And that's just important for public meetings purposes, but they make recommendations to the county manager to make the final decision on any recommendations they make.
So very few changes made, just for transparency, wanted you to know how we're going about that.
Good job, Megan. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much
Thank you
for
so much.
bringing us up into the real world here.
Real world. You're welcome.
Next item, request to adjust the Crook County Library hours of operation. Sarah?
You want me to come up or?
Yes, please.
So right at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm totally joking.
The only chair that's available.
So what we're proposing, and we discussed this with our library board at the August 14th meeting, is a reduction of Saturday hours from 6 hours opening to 4 hours opening. We do appreciate our public wanting the library to be open a lot, and if we were able to, we'd be open 7 days a week because our staff just loves providing service to the community. Right now, our number of employees is pretty low to continue. Well, the first proposal was to close on Saturdays, but we have gone back to the drawing board and we have redone what we think is a really solid plan moving forward. And that is, our current hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 7. and Saturdays 10 to 4. And what we are proposing is a shift up in hours to 8 to 6. And on Saturday from 8 to noon. And so how this works is we're gonna try something a little new if we get your approval for this. And we talked about it, we vetted it, we've done research on this. There is something that public libraries are doing called self-service hours. And it is a way to open up your building to the public without having that circulation desk staffed. And we have a lot of people in our building doing their morning duties, and we would like to propose doing that moving forward Monday through Saturday from 8 to 9 in the morning. What that looks like is we will have staff members in the library. We will open the library doors. People can come in and get a drink, use the bathroom, pick up their hold. They'll need to bring in their library card to check things out at the self-checkout machine. They can sit and read a book. They can use a computer. They can make printouts. But that first hour, there won't be staff assistants at the front desk. What it does is give the library an extra opening hour. This has been very popular to the point where some libraries are doing some pretty crazy and scary things like opening up on Sundays. We aren't there yet. We just want to dabble here. We think this is a good first step. We've got a lot of people in the building doing their duties in the morning. We can keep an eye on things and see how it goes. And so that is our proposal. This during the weekdays will be open the same amount of hours. That first 8 to 9 hour will be self-service. Regular hours from 9 to 6, and on Saturdays, we're gonna bump up our opening to having self-service from 8 to 9 and regular hours from 9 to noon. It was really hard. I actually don't have enough people to open on Saturdays, but by getting kind of creative and using the tools at our disposal, we think we can still offer that. Initially, when I talked to my staff about this, we had proposed a lot more self-service hours. They actually came into my office in tears, and the reason was they wanted to continue providing high levels of service for our community. So this is where we ended up. I think it's a good proposal, and you know, if you have any questions, let me know. If you're good with that, I'd like to implement it soon.
Beth,
Yeah,
is that acceptable to the public?
well, our group, the Friends of the Library, thought it was a good plan, and I'm sure that
Okay.
they understand how their customers
Yeah.
would operate under that, and if they think it's tenable, then yeah, I think the public would approve.
On the third Saturday of every month, the Friends have a wonderful book sale. And we're kind of unusual ducks in the library land, is we let people into our community rooms just because of the way our building is designed when we're closed. And they are given a key. And so it would not impact, you know, their third Saturday book sale. They still have a key. They just lock up when they leave, just like everybody else.
So Sarah, when I looked at this agenda thing, it says here that you had 66,000 in 2022, and you are now up to 102,000. I want to commend you. I mean, that's amazing. I would think, you know, that you have brought this excitement to the county and everything else. So I do want you to know, I dwelt into your budget. I realized that you were 50 cents of every property tax dollar, and now Andy did give you an increase of 53 cents. So I know you got a little bit of an increase. I wish we could do more, but I just want to say you're working very well with your dollars. And I am very, very impressed in your numbers and how they've increased.
Well, we love our people here, and I think the feeling is mutual. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and if I can find a couple more cents, I certainly would send it your way. It's just kind of tough right now.
It is.
Yeah.
We acknowledge that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you though for what you do. Do we need any motion or anything to officially do this, or this goes to a consent agenda? How do we handle this clerically, I guess?
Well, I guess the important question is what kind of time frame is the library in?
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
How about September 1st?
Okay. So ideally then, because I don't think we have another meeting between now and September 1st, that there'd be some kind of motion, and we'll get that memorialized in the minutes.
okay.
How about we consider doing it on a trial basis? and get the input from the community during this trial basis.
I would like to
period.
report back, especially on the self-service hours. So, you know, in a few months, you want me to come on back and get on the agenda again, let you know how it's going?
I think it would be great, you know, there are so many people that work during the week, the Saturday thing. It may be very inconvenient, and it may really shut off their possibility of, you know, being at the library and.
I am afraid that any adjustment to library hours is going to be inconvenient for somebody in the community. It is a beloved spot. People feel a kind of ownership with it, and it's personal. And so we don't, you know, do these changes lightly. I thought you were gonna say report back on the self-service hours.
I think people are gonna like that.
I
Yeah,
think
I
they
think
will.
that's
I think
great.
that's a really good idea. I'm really excited about that.
I have, I sent Will some information on, libraries around the country that are doing it, and if you're interested, I can send that link to you. Let
Yeah,
you know
I'd
how
do
that's
that.
worked out. It's been popular.
And maybe, you know, if it's a positive thing that works well, maybe that can be incorporated into using it more, allowing more time to maybe pick up some Saturday time. I
It
mean,
could
there's
be.
just whole opportunities ahead,
Mhm.
you know, if we study it and work it.
I'll
Oh,
send
sorry,
you-
go ahead. Oh, could you do hours on the back end, or is everybody out by noon?
The reason we picked that was because we have fewer behavior issues, there's more people in the building in the morning, we wanted to make sure it was successful and work through
Yeah.
that process and any kind of tweaks that we need to do. The end game could be some interesting options in the future. And so, I'll send you out the link to the libraries that are doing it, it's been well received. Some of them, have a special like library card that you swipe at the door, and so you know who's going in, and they have papers that they sign an agreement on how they're gonna use the space. And some libraries, I think it was Contra Costa in California, even did that on Sundays when nobody was there. The part of it is, I can see that in, you know, working really well in Paulina, and I know it's worked in like Eastern Washington. And it has worked in larger libraries as well, and I'll send you those links. But it's a little scary, so I think dabbling is a good, first step.
And we might bring up this last Saturday, Sarah called me, the power went out on Meadow Lakes Drive. And so they had all left the library, I wanna say it was about 11:15 when you called me. And they had locked the library up and were sitting outside. And basically there was someone in there that would have been a behavior problem that made the librarians very hesitant to be in there in the dark and whatever. So Sarah came up with the option of we would wait, if the lights came on by noon, they would reopen the library if it didn't come back on. So she's very right in her, we do have some people that maybe are not as good as others. How do I put that better? So yes, so that was kind of a special thing that went on, but that happened last Saturday. So the library did close at noon
Thank
on
you.
Saturday, and I don't think, my belief is the power didn't come back on until after 1.
There was a party at 21st, I think it was wedding anniversary, and they were panicked because they had planned this for months and had it in advance. And I said, well, you can't use the bathroom, you can still come in and use the building. And they were very appreciative that their whole, you know, big party wasn't thrown out the window when we told them they couldn't use it. So it worked out okay. And I think that was the best case scenario. So thank you for your help.
Hey, Beth, if we started taking a bunch of heat on Facebook, would you step up and tell everybody that, well, just if you see it, just maybe weigh in and say, you know, this is something that the Friends of the Library support, and
Yeah,
that would go a long ways.
yeah.
So basically, I guess we need a motion, so I make a motion to accept the suggestion of our library director, Sarah Beely, that we will be changing our hours to include self-service hours in the morning while staff are in the building. And a number of open weekday hours will remain the same, but on Saturdays, the library will be open for 4 hours.
Second, just with the fact that I think the library board and the Friends of the Library also support it.
Very good comment, yes.
Thank you.
And then are we doing this on a trial basis?
And doing it on a trial basis.
I think that's.
And I
90 days.
think you would, if
90
you have a
days.
problem, I feel confident.
It's set a different time, like 90 days.
Yeah.
I amend the motion to include the trial period.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say, any more discussion?
Other than Seth needs to, second them
I'm
and,
just seconding it again.
yes, you do.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Herrick, aye.
Crawford, aye.
Barney, aye. So moved. Thank you, Sarah. Gail.
Yes.
You are here.
I'm here, I'm Casey.
There.
Casey has longer hair.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have the longer hair is what I meant, so that's how I meant to say it. Okay,
You're here for application and Jennifer Cummins.
Yes, we interviewed her on August 18th, 2025, and probably the same series of questions that we asked you when you applied for the Fair Board. And it was unanimous that we move forward with Jennifer Cummins as a member of the Crook County Fair Board. She has a business background. Coming off of fair, I feel like we really need to have another hands-on person on the Fair Board. Our strength on the Fair Board is that we all bring something different to the Fair Board. And I think one of Jennifer's strengths would be a hands-on person. Because we could really use more help with the fair, and we are looking for it. So therefore, the board would like to recommend Jennifer.
Great.
You're okay with us putting it on the consent agenda?
Yes, I thought that's the
Yeah,
procedure
yeah,
that
yeah.
you would follow.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
yeah.
I know her husband well.
Pardon?
I said I know her husband well.
Yes, and he was a former Fair Board member,
know, he's a good
and
guy.
maybe he'll come help us too.
That's a twofer.
You had quite a lot of activity this year with the carnival showing up, and so that was quite a bit that you handled.
Yes, and the biggest thing with that is because everything was laid out, everything was planned, everything was a piece of property. And then bringing the carnival in and figuring out where to put them, the parking, it was a challenge, but
Did it. So later on in the agenda, we're gonna be talking about county fees. So I went over the county fees. And I'm wondering if you guys would consider, I mean, on the fair, I think we're really cheap for the value we give. Even though I know we need modernization, I'm not saying we don't. God knows you know that I know all the things we need. But I looked at those and I thought, is maybe it, I know we did it last year, but is there maybe it's just a suggestion, just to go back and just look, it just seems like we're very cheap.
yes, and we do reevaluate everything, and maybe it's time to reevaluate again.
Yeah, that just kind of was my sense of looking at it. That we don't have a lot of places to rent in Prineville, and are we maybe underselling ourselves?
Right. And I just attended the booster, I think you were there,
Mhm.
Seth, and I mean, my dream was always to have a new event center across the
Oh.
street on our property there, and I'm thinking, what a shame that we don't have a bigger facility to,
It was tight.
hold those
for
events.
sure.
it was tight, it was hot,
Yeah.
smelled like the bunny barn, because we came off fair.
Sure, and maybe a few turkeys.
Yes, and a few turkeys.
I just looked at that and that's just while you're here, I would have made the comment during the fee schedule, but you're here and I just wanted to say, I looked at that and I thought, well, maybe we are undervalued there a little bit.
I think it was year before last that we
You did.
restructured the
Yeah,
fees.
I know you raised the stall fees
Mhm.
and those sort of things. But I was looking at, and Grizzly is a very nice building now that it has been redone.
Right.
So anyway, just a comment, not or a suggestion, that's all it is a suggestion, so.
Always appreciate suggestions.
Well, I'm looking for money any way I can.
So do we.
I know you are, Bill, I'm
Yes.
just trying to give you encouragement.
Well, thank you, Gail, and we will
Thanks, Gail.
put that on the consent agenda.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm gonna go do bulletin boards at Crooked River.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And we'll get together.
All right, I would like that very much.
Okay, perfect.
Blaine and Will, IT,
right.
market structure change. Thank you.
Good morning, commissioners. Yeah, Blaine Cheney and I are here to talk about some changes to the structure with the IT department. I'm gonna talk about, changes to kind of the leadership role within IT. Blaine's gonna speak to another position, we are creating within the IT department. We're just here to kind of be transparent with the board and the public and the whole of the organization in terms of these changes to the IT department. Thank you, Sarah, for pulling that up. The current, org chart for the IT department looks like this, with the CIO at the top, and an IT operations manager below the CIO. That's the position that Blaine currently holds. It was my assessment earlier this year that the organization's size and function did not warrant a CIO and an IT manager position. And that having the CIO position led to some unnecessary administrative overhead. So we have been assessing kind of the needs within the IT department. Over the last several months, it's been my determination that IT service delivery has remained steady within the organization. I think with Blaine stepping in and taking on some additional responsibility, that has streamlined the structure of the IT department and improved efficiency. But I believe there's still a need to kind of solidify that leadership role within the IT department. So what I am looking to do is create the IT director position. This is a position the county had previously. I believe it right sizes kind of leadership within the department and within the organization. Ensures oversight and accountability across all IT functions, and eliminates the duplication of some of the roles served by both the CIO and IT manager roles. The result is this screen. It eliminates the IT manager position and the CIO position. Importantly, there's no increase in personnel expenses as a result of this change. Funds are already allocated in IT's budget. So we reduce overhead, streamline costs, and ensure better resource alignment with this change. So I think it's an efficient, fiscally responsible use of our resources. So that's why we're going the direction we're going with the IT director position. I'm happy to answer any questions about that change, but kind of with that quick summary of the change to an IT director position, I wanted to turn it over to Blaine to discuss the systems engineer position.
Yeah, thank you, Will. Good morning, commissioners. I wanted to talk just briefly about the updated chart here. This change allows us to create an additional position, the systems engineer position. So what it will do is the intent here is to separate the systems administrator role and separate the day-to-day tactical updates and changes here for more of a forward-looking maintenance side of that. So currently today in the room, you have Chelsea Watson, who many of you know. If you don't, I certainly encourage you to say hi. I'm probably the stranger in this room. Chelsea has certainly been the face of IT throughout the organization. So as we look to add the systems engineer role, it would be more of a forward-looking, proactive, focused in and around security, which continues to grow and become a major concern for those of you that are close to other communities. Communities such as Tillamook has had significant events in the past that has rendered them inoperative for a period of time. So the intent is through this change that allows us this change allows us the opportunity to add an additional resource to create more boots on the ground, if you will, out there to support the county and to support the multi-varied departments that we have throughout. So I'm certainly happy to entertain any questions that the commissioners might have this morning.
No.
No,
Doing a great job.
yeah, and I think that's great. Get some more boots on the field out here with staff and department heads and things. So,
Yeah. Thank you,
I
Commissioner.
think you're doing a good job, and I really do want to commend Chelsea, who comes and helps me when I really mess up. So thank you, Chelsea, for always being there.
I think many in the room would share that.
I probably, at least I just admit it, Bill. I admit that I'm computer illiterate.
Between Susie and I, we need a lot of it.
Yeah, we need Chelsea. Maybe we could just have Chelsea just come and stay with us. Blaine.
Now.
There might be a fight, yeah.
We're selfish. But anyway, but no, thank you very much for restructuring and doing what you've been doing. I appreciate it.
Thank you, commissioners.
Any questions? Any more questions?
I don't have any.
Nope.
Just information only, no procedures, just.
I don't believe,
Well,
yeah, I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware, everybody was aware of these changes, there's obviously some additional steps. We will move forward.
Thank you. You guys still have the floor, website update.
Yeah, thank you. So this is for information for the commissioners. We have an opportunity before us to be upgrading the county's existing website. It's through our existing Civic Plus platform that we currently utilize today. It is an inline upgrade, so we're not changing our partner or our vendor. It's adding features and functionality. It's also bringing the library's website into the fold into the county, which I think is some efficiency that we're excited about without losing the individuality in some regards with regards to the county. It still allows them to manage the library's side of that, to be creative and to meet the community where it's at, while also aligning with a bigger, broader picture vision for the commissioners of Crook County as a whole. So with that, we are going to bring in ADA accessibility to allow the community that may have additional needs to be able to interact with the website and be more functionally operative as part of that too. So we are targeting first part of December type of rollout. So there are conversations going on right now amongst department heads that obviously some departments engage more heavily, have a larger presence out there on the website. So community development, the elections office, assessor's office, the library, obviously heavily engaging with those groups right now to make sure that there's no oversights as a party to that process, and just wanted to keep the commission updated this morning on the status of that project. So to make you aware of that.
Good, exciting.
Yeah,
Sounds
it is. It's a great.
like the price is right too.
It certainly is. It's within our existing budget. It was budgeted for, and so we're excited to do that. It's a great opportunity.
Good news.
Yeah, I brought Chelsea here. If there's any questions, she certainly has been engaged in the detail of it, but if there's any questions, I'll certainly entertain them, and I know Chelsea will too.
Thank you very much. I don't have enough knowledge to even ask an educated question, so.
Well, if it helps, Sarah is very excited about the changes because
And-
it provides a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, and I heard that the agenda program is gonna maybe change for you, and I know you've been excited about that for a while, so I thank you for that too.
I have a question on software, but I'm not gonna entertain the whole county right now.
Okay.
Do it.
We'll get back to
Maybe when we
that.
all have some time, we can figure it out.
Perfect.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Resolution 2025-32, amending the fee. Morning, Christina.
Morning. Gosh. So this is just a first look. We will have a public hearing next week to amend a couple of fees. The GIS fee is a soil survey fee. It was brought to my attention by Ben that we had two different fees. One was one fee in community development and a different amount in GIS. So this makes them consistent across both community development and GIS, that we have one soil survey fee and it is $95. The asbestos correction at the landfill removes language that was for some old regulations. It does not actually change the fee. And then we have some updates to our non-resident card fees at the library to cover those costs. And then there was a note, I'm hoping to fit into the resolution next week, that conciliation is spelled incorrectly
Yes,
on the clerk's
fee schedule, so we'll update the resolution to make sure we can fix that spelling.
So it said marriage fee and then it said constellation fee, and I was wondering, you paid the $25 and then you got tired of that candidate for $10. So when I saw Cheryl in the parking lot, I said, how does this work? Because, you know, just in case I walk out of the room, it's 10 more bucks, I can get a different one, but I'm glad to see that we're getting on this. So that was kind of me, Christina, I was being a little devil. I do have a question though, what, on assessor, you have a farm disqualification estimate, $175. Is that, or should I ask John that question? What is a farm disqualification? Is that you lose EFU?
That's when you're losing your EFU. Yeah, you can ask John for more details, but that is what happens when your property doesn't qualify for EFU zoning anymore.
Okay,
And
and
the
who,
paperwork.
and he is the one that's the deciding factor on that because they developed or they lot split or something?
His office is, yes.
Okay. And that's something I would assume community development would make a candidate, because they'd come in for an application, right? They would make them aware that they're losing that zoning.
It's not the zoning they lose, it's the farm deferral.
Well,
status.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, they're.
Okay.
Do we want John to comment?
No, I kind of think I can talk to him, but I figured that's what it was. And then the only other thing I saw is, like I said, I thought the fair was kind of cheap, but that's up to them to redo. I'm just trying to look. Oh, and the other thing I was wondering, and this is for you who's in charge of garbage. Out of county, we give them like just a little bit of a break. Maybe we ought to up that because they are out of county. Our landfill's filling up. We need to be conscious of our landfill. Is that something that we ought to be considering?
Yeah, I'm all for it.
That's just a thought,
Yeah.
you know, when I'm looking at it, it's a $10 difference and I'm thinking, should it be, or should it be more than that? So that's another thought. Again, for Jackie and you guys to figure out, but that was just a thought I had when I went through these. Besides my consolation fee.
Consolation.
For $10.
Yes. Good catch on that, I appreciate that.
Okay. So we just need to wait for the public hearing next week, right?
Yep, next week we'll have this on the public hearing, and Sarah, I will get the updated schedule to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jamie, budget in a brief.
Do you all have a copy of the budget in your packets?
I have it.
Okay. I brought printed copies too, they're in color, because that's probably how it would look, so I don't know if anybody needs a copy.
Are we gonna have some of those available at our table outside? I'm wondering if we should maybe put those on the table.
Good idea.
I have a table outside of the commissioner thing, or they have a table, we all have a
How'd
table.
that table get there?
I got there because Seth and Susie have very strong arms and drug it up on the second floor. But that put aside, now that we've got patted on our back, maybe
So,
we
yeah,
need to do,
so
I think this
let
would
me
be
tell you
great.
about this. So budget and brief this is our first time ever, as far as I know, since I've been here, attempt at creating a very high level and hopefully easy to digest, your Reader's Digest version of the budget document. I think most of our members of the public are unlikely to grab a 250+ page document and read it from cover to cover and really understand everything they see about it. So it has been my goal to accomplish a very simple one-page document that tells you everything you need to know about our budget. And our idea is to have it go with the tax statements that are gonna go out in the fall. So every taxpayer will receive this copy. I love the idea of having it, you know, on a table in your office. Any county departments who want it, it's super simple, easy to print, easy to have available. But our hope is that the public can understand then, here's the money that's coming in, here's the money that's going out in broad categories. We also thought, you know, our document is necessarily arranged by funds and by, you know, department function, but for the budget and brief, we thought, well, let's just break it down. We have government services, we have community enrichment, we have public safety. So we've kind of resorted our departments into 5 broad categories that show how the county chooses to break up our budget by those investments. So that's the front side. On the back side, we're using that space to talk more, it's more narrative, less colorful, but we have done a major highlight on the goals and strategies that are guiding our decisions and our actions this year and beyond. And then, you know, what's new in the budget and the challenges that we're facing. Is it behind me? It is. Okay, that's why you're looking past it. Perfect. And so those are just lifted, that's basically lifted and summarized out of the budget message. So again, the main priorities for the year, the main things we want people to know. Little QR code at the bottom, people can scan that, it'll take them to the landing page to access the budget document if they want to see 250 pages in detail. So that is that.
Yeah, I really like the QR code.
Yes.
That people can do a deep dive if that's something.
Absolutely.
So it's not, they don't feel like we're trying to gloss over.
I commend you putting in, I never thought about the tax statements, but I'm getting ready to pay my property taxes. And now I can see where my property taxes go. That is a brilliant idea, Jamie, and I really, really like it.
I guess we'll see, like, you know, for those who haven't been engaged in the process, it may also cause a lot of questions. You know, it may go both directions. I hope it brings more clarity than not, but it's information that we want our taxpayers to
And I
have.
think that's the perfect place for it to be, because you're getting ready to pay them. And there it is. This is what it all goes for.
Anything to add, Will?
No, I think this is awesome. I really appreciate you doing that, so.
It's a lot of extra work and you did a very good job, Jamie. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's great. Last week I spent about 30 minutes going to the webpage, get on the budget. To find out some information, and right here is everything I was looking for.
Oh, well, good.
So,
Okay, that's
great
good.
job. Yeah.
All
Jamie
right.
got 4 phone calls from me, so you were nice.
Well, some of the granular detail you were asking wouldn't have been in the budget for you.
Okay, good. You're trying to save me is what you're trying to do. Thanks,
Yes.
Jamie.
And how many copies would you like in your office, or?
I just think that'd be something nice to put there.
Or you can.
Yeah.
10 should be.
Yeah, but we're happy for it to be accessible.
But-
If there's other department heads who want it in their spaces, we would love for it to be available.
I just think it's really good to put with the tax statement. I just really like that idea.
It's a fairly inexpensive way to get it out. You can, you know, find some efficiencies on postage, and we're already mailing all the taxpayers, so it can ride along fairly inexpensively, so. All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Well, community development, John and Randy show.
Zoo show. Zoo showed up.
Our informative meeting. Learn a lot here.
Oh, down there, John?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can spread out.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. Go over the building numbers. They're, this month's a little bit lower than last year's, but overall, you can see year to date, 1,200 permits issued, just over 1,200. Last year was just over 1,100. So, I mean, we're tracking pretty close to the typical year from last year. 11 new houses last month, 19 commercials, 102 residential, like MEP type permits, and 29 shop garage type permits issued. So currently have 170 homes under construction that we're managing, 772 other residential type construction or permits, and 287. So the commercial end still continues to dominate what we're doing. Residential is still pretty slow. But with the heavy commercial plan review, commercial inspections, plus the resi stuff, keeping our team going, still averaging almost 1,000 on-site inspections a month. Not a ton of new activity as far as new buildings going. So, you know, the only one we've been getting a lot of calls on is that big grubbing project up there across from Facebook in the Tom McCall or Kevin Spencer's park, and that's you know, that came through land use. We haven't seen anything at our office yet, but they applied for, I think it was a 70,000 square foot warehouse to be placed there. But we haven't seen anything to our office or any pre-construction needs yet with that team. Fortis did reach out 2 days ago. We're gonna schedule a pre-app meeting with them.
They're gonna take, so you've got the original buildings, which are the PR in 1, 2, and 3. PR and 4 is what they call cold storage. So it's a smaller building where they do all the cold out, the cold data storage. They are going to, we're gonna have a meeting next week with our team and their design team for pre-app and pre-construction. They're going to be looking at switching those servers out as a test run for the new glycol servers. So we're gonna be interfacing with them and bringing in that new technology here for a test run for Meta to get these servers in the trial basis. So kind of like a test lab, big one.
And would they then roll those out across the entire fleet?
At this point, they're just having conversations with us, probably, I think, some of their AI platforms. So I would imagine if it's technology that's tested and it's a lot easier to cool the chillers or cool the servers, that would be an option for them, but, you guys know about the server stuff, but they're bringing those in, so we're gonna talk about getting rid of those aisles and bringing in the new stuff and new equipment. So other than that, just kind of that's what we've got. The only thing I would, bring up is staffing. You guys know that we've got one individual that's out for some period of time. We've set a goal, which I set a goal 8 years ago when I started, was 2 A levels in each scope of work. Currently, we're being affected by that. That individual is A level plumber and fire suppression. And so we are the only other A level, we got one other A level plumber and one other fire suppression guy, which was Rich. If you guys remember, we lost our residential planning examiner to shoots. So what Rich did is he retired, but he went on call, but we're managing him at 28 hours a week to do resi plan review and help out with A level electrical. So that's the other balance that I've got 2 A levels, but one's on call. So Rich has came to us in the last 2 weeks. He wants to, instead of July, he wants to do it to actual full on, like an actual on-call position at the end of December. So that kind of sets us up to, I'm losing my backup fire suppression, my primary fire suppression is not here until he can return. We're lacking on some of the A level plumbing stuff. And so, we're looking at some licensing issues to maintain service in-house. The other thing too is City of Redmond lost their only, so City of Redmond only had one A level electrical. They've called on us to try to help. And then Jefferson County just lost their A level electrical. So we have intergovernmental agreements that we're trying to balance and maintain. We reached out to Randy Scheid at the Shoots. And between City of Bend collectively, the Tri-County, we're gonna try to help keep Redmond, Jefferson. We are sustainable right now, but we are on the edge. So what we've done is the state's offered some B-level programs for electrical and plumbing. We've got Scott in there now. That way he's kind of an intermediate, maybe backup in the next 6 months to a year for A-level electrical support. We've got Bodie transitioning to trying to get some NFPA 13 fire suppression training going. So we've got some backup fire suppression, so we're not stuck. So it may be soon with losing Rich's 28 hours to resi plans, we may be coming to you guys to try to get a position to backfill the residential plans because we don't have any. All our guys are licensed, but they're doing the commercial plan review inspections, resi reviews, or resi inspections. But we have nobody dedicated for plans once Rich is done with those 28 hours. So just Tri-County as a whole, we're kind of a little on shaky ground. We're doing good. We're putting in some safety nets with some additional certification. But I think Tri-County wide, we may be stretched depending on how much requests for service they're gonna have.
Sounds like it might be a pretty competitive position to try to fill with.
It will be, until we get another large project, that's where I need another A-level electrical. Andy's able to manage right now. And then hopefully with Scott getting this next B-level license that we can manage the commercial with Rich just as a primary on call. It's the certification that's the problem. It's not, I can't get everybody, but you're correct. Everybody's looking for an A-level electrical and they pay considerably more. So for us to try to attract, for me to try to go recruit an EI right now, there's no way. So maybe we'll start with this resi plans examiner guy first, at least get that managed. And then wait for another indication of a larger project before I go for, Halo. But just so you guys are aware, we're bare bones, we're looking at some licensing issues and other jurisdictions are calling on us too for help.
Great, thanks, Randy.
Yeah, Randy, thanks. Good morning, commissioners. The planning side, kind of chugging along, our numbers are up still, over previous year and the year before, but not by too much, pretty steady, 32 applications received. Notable stuff that we are and have been working on, Moffett Solar is scheduled for deliberations in September, that might need to be pushed back. That Mueller subdivision, there's a good chance we might sign that tonight. We have a planning commission meeting tonight. The military overlay, we're done. Congratulations, commissioners. I think we're still within the appeal period, but basically, I think we are past that one. Bellevue Community Center, Child Care Centers, they're working through the new farm impacts test that might need to be pushed back as well. The TSP, we will be coming to the planning commission next month. We had the Juniper Canyon meeting last week. All things considered, I think it went pretty well. I know the commissioners were there. Whatever land use planning skills I have, they don't extend to event planning, so I want to make sure you guys know that I pulled it off thanks to a lot of support from other departments and other county employees. A lot of it was last minute, but I want to make sure that people are recognized, like, Brad helped out a lot from roads. Ben and GIS made us amazing maps. We got easels from the library, from the museum, from admin. Sarah did a ton of work for us. My staff did a ton of work. We had help from other agencies. And so, the surface looked like it went really smoothly, but it wasn't. It's because we all chipped in and worked together. So I want to thank everybody that did that. Not on here, we did get that cell tower application in Palo Butte has been received, and so, figure out what to do, how to process that, try to get for the planning commission. And then Hidden Canyon, we're still working on that application. It was, I think, 2 weeks ago that Will and Commissioner Barney and I went out to visit the site. That was very helpful and eye-opening. I have a meeting set up with ODOT about kind of related to TSP and Hidden Canyon. So the Palo Butte 126 intersection, I have a meeting next week, talking about the MOU that we have for that currently. If anyone of you commissioners want to join that discussion, send an invitation. That's it for the planning side. You see here these notable city land use applications. I haven't been following those very closely, but we have the Best Care, the gym, and Calvary Chapel. On-site, again, chugging along. Chris, kind of extending what's going on the building inspector side. Chris has been helping out Jefferson County and then up around the Dalles as well. We're updating that IGA also, but our staff is busy kind of helping out other jurisdictions, which is good. Lewis looks like had a pretty slow July. I know that people are busy in July, but so he opened 5 cases and closed 2. He's had a few hearings this month, so he's staying busy, but numbers wise, I think it's a good thing. I think that's it. Is there any questions? No?
We need to keep in contact with the gentleman in Palo Butte on the cell tower. One of us do, so we
Yeah,
can get together and chat about that.
Yeah.
yeah, we do need to, because he reached out.
Oh, really?
Well, I gave you all
Yeah.
that, yeah, but he reached out back and he's now, we need to keep him in the loop.
Yeah, last time I spoke with him, we hadn't had an application.
Yeah.
Great job, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. You.
Nice to know what's going on in the county.
And I think it's very good you're being so forward thinking on your inspectors and stuff, Randy, good job.
Thank you. It's tough to balance because you don't know the industry and you have to have certain licenses.
Yeah, no, but you're,
One, I think we're in, I think we're in the position we are today because you've worked so hard over the years to ensure that we have those people, so thank you.
Thank you.
I had to make me a depth chart. It's confusing keeping track of all the different certifications and the levels, and so, yeah, he does a great job staying on top of that, but, yeah, keep doing it.
Okay. Managers report.
I didn't have anything prepared this morning, but I see that the county clerk is here and I might take advantage and ask her to speak to something she emailed me about yesterday afternoon that I think is responsive to a public comment we received last week about recording fraud. And I think this is some exciting news and some quick follow-up, and there may be some additional follow-up she wants to do with the board. But I thought since she's here, I would put her on the spot to speak quickly to.
Roll right up here.
So our vendor Helion that does all of our recording platform, everything, has come up with a program. It's called Property Record Alert System. We had kind of seen it coming or had talked about it for about a year, but it's taken them a while to be able to roll it out. I just got the contract yesterday. I think they have updated our system. It's on there. I just haven't had access to it. The contract and payment is made. The fee is minimal on it. I feel it's a $1,000 setup fee and then a $500 annual fee, which isn't bad. And I had budgeted for that, so I've got that in there. So we're going to, she just emailed me the invoice, so I'm gonna get that to finance and we'll roll that out. So what that's gonna do is it's going to have a place on our website for anybody to go in and sign up their name or a series of names. I think it limits them to 10, but they can do different emails. And so anytime a document records with that name that they've put in there, it's gonna give them an email that's gonna say, hey, a document has recorded in your name. And most people, great, fine, I know that. Oh, wait a minute. So this is something that I attended the International Government Conference this last June in Kansas City, and this was something that was heavily talked about with the deed fraud. Many states have had this huge issues on this for the last 3 to 5 years. Some of them have had, multiple instances. We have been very fortunate. Oregon has had some. There's some of the other counties that are dealing with some of it. So this isn't a fraud prevention. This is an alert after something's recorded, but it at least lets you know something's happened. Get with an attorney, get a copy of the document, get in and do that. We are working really hard to try to find something to catch it on the front end. But that.
On the back end, if you do catch it early, is it way better than catching it down the line or?
I believe it is. I mean, it gives you more of a chance to get with an attorney and find out what your processes are. There is some different states that have different things. Texas has a process through their courts where they can file and I think it's like an affidavit of fraudulent document or something of that sort. The clerk can file it, anybody can file it. It goes to review with their circuit court, and if circuit court says, yes, this is a fraudulent document, they produce a judgment that gets recorded in the clerk's office. So there's a full trail. It doesn't just disappear. So Oregon doesn't have anything like that, but we're talking with different people to try to get that. So there are a lot of states though that have required through their legislation this property alert system. Where Oregon's just always a little lower than some of them on the East Coast. So I'm glad that it'll be something we'll offer. It'll be something that we'll offer free for all of the citizens. And I'm gonna try to get the word out as quickly as possible. I know I have an example. One of the states did a little insert in their tax statements with the QR code on how to do that. So I don't want to overload our tax statement this year, but we'll discuss on ways of getting that word out for people to sign up, and it'll be free for them, and it's there until they change it. And we've talked about at some point possibly adding like your parcel number or your account number. But we know here, if I have a 40-acre piece, it has one account number. If it's subdivided, then there's new accounts assigned to all of those, but it may be 6 months before those are assigned. And if I'm assess a new buyer on one of those pieces, he's gonna have to put that primary account number in, and then he'll get notified with, anything in that subdivision selling. So that isn't something that we've quite got yet, but we've worked through, we're talking with some of the different legislative groups and stuff on how to do that, if that's something that they want to incorporate and make it, and that.
The name seems like it works really.
The name works really well. It does. It works really well. So, and it's a voluntary thing. If folks want to sign up for it, great. If they don't, then that's fine. So, but Jackson County was the first one to roll it out in Oregon, and they've had a lot of users on it. I can't remember what her recent number was, but it was a real high number, so that was really a positive thing.
Did they catch anybody by having that on there?
So,
Or
you
do
know,
know?
I don't know that. I
Just
haven't-
curious.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I haven't heard that. I know the, one instance that I'm aware of is in Josephine County, and the clerk actually was suspicious of it. But even if I'm suspicious of a document, if it meets recording requirements, it's the original, it's whatever, I have to record it. I can't say, oh, this doesn't feel right. I can't, I don't have that authority. We tried legislation to put some of those things in place, but it didn't go anywhere, so.
For what reason?
So, let's see, there was,
What's the downside of that?
there was a lot of things that we tried with the, legislature this last time that didn't go anywhere. They had a goal and a focus, and everything else just kind of didn't get looked at good, so we'll keep at it, but this is a step in the right direction, so hopefully it'll be something that everybody will use, or a lot of folks will use, so. Yeah, exciting.
Hey, Cheryl.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I guess it's my turn. I'm gonna go off of the high school rodeo for just a minute. I got a text last night, and I just want to read this text because I think it's very impressive. It's from Angela Ostrander, who is the treasurer of the Livestock Committee. And it says, "We would like to thank all the buyers and supporters that made our 2025 livestock auction a huge success. The 2025 sale with 347 lots brought in $1,369,534.50. What is very impressive is the add-ons were $328,681.90. That's add-ons.
That's awesome.
So the total for our auction, which I think we're smoking to shoots, which is a good feeling, is
Anytime.
1.698216.40. It's just the 300, the add-ons just, that's
$390?
$328,000 in add-ons. I can send you that text, but I was just, that came and I read that before I went to bed last night and I had a big smile on my face. I was
It's almost
so proud.
$900 a kid.
Yeah.
If it did go across the board.
347 lots divided into the 328, yeah. So anyway, so that's off this, that's kind of a diversion, but again, I just felt that was very needed to be mentioned. So there is a group, and Blaine probably knows about this group. They're a high school rodeo out of Portland, and they go to the Sisters Rodeo grounds. And since there's a little bit of an upheaval going on in Sisters right now with fire camp, they are looking for a place to come, and Bobby Aldrich has sold them Primeville. And when we look at Primeville, we will be getting a $20 stall fee. We will be getting a $30 RV rent. Mary's Kitchen will be open, and we will be getting 20% of the proceeds of Mary's Kitchen. And the city of Primeville, of course, will be getting franchise taxes. So they were asking for either a percentage or whatever that we could maybe do to encourage these young kids. So when I talked to Casey, his thing to me was that it was going to be the indoor arena for one night for cutting, and the outdoor arena for 3 days at $1,800 for the entire thing. Bobby sent me the contract, and the contract states, here's the end page that has, but you don't sign all this other stuff. And it was a little bit more than that. It was $2,142 for facility use. And then they were gonna give them a refund of $600. So we're looking at more like 2,100, then we're looking at 1,800. Casey's suggestion was to do a 30% discount at $837. Again, it's up to us as to what we want to do. I asked Jamie through numerous phone calls. I don't know if Jamie's still here. Well, there you are, Jamie. We, out of our community benefit fund, spent $78,000. There are a couple things that haven't been billed. So she projected we had spent about 90,000 out of community benefit last year, which we are on a new fiscal year. But I just want to give us a basis of, we didn't overdo or whatever from last year. So what would we like to do as far as this group?
I would like to just pick it up. It's a high school rodeo, and the children are our foundation. And if we can help them out in the circumstances, I think we're helping out our whole community.
Yeah, I totally agree. I just think we need to start, to Susie's point, this all goes into the city's TRT dollars, not the county's. And I think we should need to redouble our efforts in talking to the city, the fact that they give us $30,000 a year for our fairgrounds, when I think they're making over 100,000 a year off our fairgrounds is. But I mean, we don't have to dive deep into that conversation today, but I agree with Brian.
That's something that's.
This is for the kids, but I think, you know, again, it does a lot for our community, but mostly for the city. Nobody's
What-
staying Versada, nobody's, so.
One of the things last night, I went to another committee meeting, and who sat with me was Trevor and Bobby Aldridge. And one of the things that I did make her aware of that she wasn't aware of was that there is a certain benefit to the city. Because when I do see a high school rodeo, I see a lot of cowboy hats walking up and down the street. Now, it might be they all put on cowboy hats and they're from Prineville, but I'm thinking pretty much. So that was something that she thought that maybe she might even
Yeah,
go
that
and
would
look
be
into.
really good to get out.
Which would be a very good thing. So she had no awareness of that, and now that awareness has been brought to her
Yeah, I'm
attention.
fine. I love the kids and
So it's just, like I said, it was just a
especially this
point
could
of
be a
information.
future renter,
Good business.
good business.
Good thing to
Yeah.
do for kids
Yeah.
and, you know, I mean, what we do doesn't affect the city. What the city does sometimes affects the community. But we do good, doesn't, it's good.
Yeah, we can just look at our little thing.
Yeah.
And I agree with your trend of thought.
Rant.
But right now we have this, so I presented the information, so would one of you like to make a motion?
I'd make a motion to, provide the funds for the Portland High School Rodeo that's coming to Crook County.
I will second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. Any more discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Crawford, aye.
Hermrick, aye.
Sorry, aye.
Okay, and I will call Bobby and I will call Casey.
And it's great to show the western side of the community with Oregon,
Yeah.
Eastern, Central Oregon.
And then one other thing that's off the subject, but I know Will and John know, I have requested a meeting of the state agencies about the water contamination. Because they have finalized their water testing and all of that, so by putting in a request. We will have, the state agencies will be setting up a meeting where they can meet with obviously us and the people involved. To get more information into the community. So I'll keep you posted on when that's gonna happen.
Great. I've got a quick request as well. The senior center is having issues with people driving the wrong way down their alley between the senior center and Need Repeat.
Second.
Seconds. Well, it's between the two streets
Where you drop off your donation.
where you drop
isn't
off
it?
your donations, and they have people coming in where it's only an out, and they've got a exit only sign that they want to put out, but they would also like 2 arrows to put to show people when if they do miss the sign. I talked to Brad, he said it's $410. Is that right, Brad?
Yeah, that's okay.
410, and you know, only half of that is actual cost of the signs and the others. But I think that's worthwhile to help them out there. They're really struggling to provide the funding for their food. And so I think it's $410 well spent.
I make a motion to go ahead and spend $410 out of community benefit for the senior center's road signs.
Second?
Motion made second. Any discussion?
Former guy. Oh, no discussion. Okay, now we
Is
go.
that a discussion?
Okay, you know my vote. Okay, sorry.
Is that the third person?
Yeah. Okay, I
No
believe it.
discussion, all in favor?
Okay, here we go.
Crawford, aye.
Barney, aye. So moved. All right. No executive session, so that ends our meeting. Thank you, everyone. for participating. Well, Aaron,
I took that note too.
I mean, like, yeah.
I mean,
That's easy.